Details.
Susie, moments ago, the Jacksonville Jaguars and Chicago Bears agreed on a trade that will send the Bears' compensatory fourth-round pick, the 140th overall selection, to Jacksonville in return for Nick Foles, who comes into Chicago and knows the coaching staff well. He worked with Matt Nagy in Philadelphia. He worked with John DeFilippo in Philadelphia. He worked with Bill Lazor in Philadelphia, and they believe that it's going to be a source of comfort for them to get that done, and that will be a big move for the Chicago Bears. They felt like they had to get a veteran. The Jaguars spoke to the Colts about a trade for Nick Foles. The Colts decided to go with Phillip Rivers. They talked to the Bears. The Bears get done that trade.
Adam, Foles is owed a lot of money. What do you know right now about how they redo this deal to make it work for everyone?
Well, listen, they could sit down and restructure that contract, and perhaps they do that. But the deal just came down as we speak, and so we're waiting to see, Susie.
Yeah, quite honestly, look, I don't really see him coming there to be anybody's mentor. I mean, yeah, Nick has done this in the past. He has played that role, and he is the perfect soldier and someone who has the perfect kind of mentality. He's a self-starter, very intrinsically motivated. You know he's going to be ready to go. Heck, he could walk in there and start right now because of his familiarity with the offense. But, Mort, you just alluded to this. This is a very important year for the Chicago Bears. I can tell you this, Matt Nagy needs to win. Matt Nagy wants to win. Matt Nagy wants to put the pressure on Mitch Trubisky because it's time for him to take the next step. This whole, what else do we need to do in order to get him to play better? There really isn't much else they can do to get him to play better, other than, put, I guess, 10 other Pro Bowlers around him and make it so easy for him that I could go in there and throw the football. But the fact of the matter is they're trying to win games. And my suspicion is this. Nick Foles is going to wind up being the starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears at some point in time. It's a matter of time. Within this system, and from what we've seen from Mitch, and look, everyone knows. Look, I dubbed Mitch Trubisky Maserati Mitch. I believe that Mitch was going to take another step and become that guy for them. I personally just don't see it anymore, and I think the Chicago Bears are letting you know that right now, this could be Nick Foles' show sooner rather than later, so you need to prepare yourself for that.
Yeah, let's not forget, Nick Foles is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and although he was 0-4 as a starter last year and was injured, he's had so many up and downs in his career. He left the Rams. It looked like he was going to retire. He was resurrected in Kansas City, also with Matt Nagy there. And then, of course, he finds a Super Bowl ring in Philadelphia. So it's almost impossible to predict with Nick Foles. But, Mike, I know you were shaking your head in agreement with Lewis that you believe eventually or right away he's the starter.
Yeah, like in the next 5 minutes. And I think this was a great trade by Ryan Pace. And I think part of being a leader is to admit when you're wrong. Mitchell Trubisky has one winning season. He was a top 2 pick in the 2017 draft. 2 years ago, when we played against him when I was at the Dolphins, our whole game plan was, can he beat us by throwing the ball deep downfield to his left? And if we knew that, everybody else knows that. He was 30th in the NFL in yards per attempt, and that's a very significant statistic from a standpoint that compresses the field. Nick Foles took a team, as you said, won a Super Bowl, Susie. I know he's not perfect, but last year he actually played pretty well in the games he played for Jacksonville. Obviously, they were 0-4. But this gives them a much better chance to win right now, which is what they need to do. And after 3 seasons, Trubisky has only one winning season. That's really important. You have a championship defense on the other side of the ball. Now they're much more competitive.
A lot of factors in play here. Mort mentioned how you could be feeling the pressure a little bit if you're Ryan Pace, understanding the stakes that are incumbent upon you when you're A, an NFL general manager, and B, your most high-profile draft pick, Mitch Trubisky, is struggling. But let's step back and look at one of the
back. He's in a system now which he's comfortable with and will understand. And I was just so impressed. I remember, and the thing that I will never get out of my mind, we heard about the play in the Super Bowl. For 2 years, he was the quarterback who threw the last touchdown pass, because when Tom Brady and Jared Goff didn't throw a touchdown pass the following year, Nick Foles was the quarterback who threw the last touchdown pass in the Super Bowl for 2 years. But the thing that I remember about in the Super Bowl, he's relaxed, he's comfortable, he understands, he doesn't let things rattle him. I'm on the sidelines as a sideline reporter for our broadcast, and I always keep an eye on the quarterbacks. And that's what I noticed more than anything else. He didn't get crazy. He wasn't nervous. he was just comfortable. And that's what he is, and I think he's a very good quarterback. I think he's the starter for the Bears. Mitchell Trubisky's a stiff. They made a mistake, and they're trying to clean it up, and you can't clean it up with just having a great quarterback fall out of the sky. But what you got is a good quarterback, and I don't know that Mitchell Trubisky is a good quarterback, but he settles in. I like him in an offense, and Matt Nagy will have him in an offense that he's comfortable with. And I think just Nick is a wonderful, terrific guy around teammates. All of that said, and the teammates will have confidence in him, which they did here. Remember, the Eagles lost Wentz when he came in and did what he did. He had one of the greatest Super Bowl games I've ever seen for a quarterback. Now, I don't know that he can do that all the time, and he's going to have some bad games as quarterbacks do.